Hey, Big Brother fans, we've got the player roster for today's Veto comp with Makensy, Angela, and Kimo making their draws earlier today in the BB26 house. We're also going to talk about the best and worst case scenarios and the whispered plans for what everybody hopes is going to happen based on live feed chatter overnight and this morning. If you haven't, please click subscribe and let's jump right in. Interestingly, Rubina talked about using the veto if she wins to force Makensy to make a better move. And obviously she would want Kimo off the block. And Rubina is doing this talk clearly with an eye on Leah, but that's not going to get the chance to manifest. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So as expected, Leah told Angela she would use the veto on her again, but Angela is still doing what I expected, letting anxiety and paranoia eat at her, and she worries if she's the real target, but Leah has reassured her because they are both utterly in the dark. And Angela's still not sure she can entirely trust Makensy, and as we all know, she can't. So talk in the house overnight branded Kimo and Angela as Perpetual Pawns. I mean, he's on the block 5th time, she for the 6th time, so that's pretty accurate. But Kimo is in good shape sitting next to her if nothing changes. But the odds of that, we're going to talk about that. He thinks if noms stay the same, he's good. He's super worried what happens if Leah wins the veto and pulls down Angela, as we know she would do. So some quick chat from the feeds Friday night about gameplay, veto comp, and targets. Angela spent some time alone in the HOH room doing, guess what? No surprise, crying while everybody else was eating dinner and chatting and hanging out. Chelsie has said she wanted Angela and Leah out for T'Kor payback. And then later, Chelsie took her turn crying, but she did it alone in the yard, saying this is so hard, how much she's missing family, mentally stressed, really tired, and feeling alone, and that being with all these people actually makes her feel more alone. And then last night, Leah was telling Rubina some big fat lies, doing some damage control and jury management, talking about how she didn't want to nominate T'Kor, said she had a different plan for the week. No, she didn't. She always was hoping to break up the power trio. Then Leah said she was really going to use that janky veto to change noms, but she got nervous and then messed up the carnival game. And first of all, Leah is absolutely lying to Rubina because she wasn't going to use that janky veto. And second, I think she messed up that game intentionally. I mean, it was ridiculously bad, especially considering they'd all been playing those carnival games for days before that, just out of boredom, if nothing else. And then Leah told Rubina that Quen told her double eviction is when you get out a big target, and said that's the time they need to take out Chelsie. And then Leah came back around saying her original plan for her HOH didn't work out. That's not true. And when she realized a renom plan might be possible, if you recall, she floated Chelsea's name, but she didn't get any nibbles. So she went to her original plan to break up the power trio and did that. And she is still trying to plant these seeds. But Leah, talking about getting Chelsie out is not going to work well with Rubina, because T'Kor told Rubina and Kimo to stick close to Chelsie if she leaves. And then Rubina and Kimo have talked final 3 about them and Chelsie, although Chelsie has a final 2 with Cam. So definitely Chelsea's still playing the middle. Makensy, Cam, and Chelsie spent a lot of time Friday night bashing Leah for everything from her endless chatter to making everything about her, and for taking too long to make her salad last night. Apparently it took an hour. And I mean, that's just a long time to make a salad. So now let's talk veto player draw and scenarios. Of course, playing the veto comp, Makensy and her noms, Kimo and Angela. And then Leah, Cam, and Chelsie were either drawn or chosen by the nominees or HOH. They're going to play. That leaves Rubina hosting. It would have been much better for Kimo if Rubina got to play, because she was talking about definitely using it, but his luck ran out on that draw. Interesting note, before the draw, Leah had talked to Makensy about her being the host, And Makensy was kind of interested to see that Leah has no anxiety about being a renom, so she didn't even seem necessarily concerned about playing in the comp. You know, Makensy did promise her safety, but that might not hold true. So here's the veto plans. There's 3 best case scenarios, one that's good but not optimal, one that's less than optimal, and one that is absolutely HOH ruining worst case scenario. So the best case, of course, is that the nominations don't change. That will happen if Makensy, Cam, or Chelsie wins the veto comp. They have no reason to use it. They all want Angela gone. If any of those 3 win, the run of using the veto for 9 weeks in a row will end. The good scenario, but not great scenario, is if Kimo wins. He'll take himself down. Probably Rubina would go up as a pawn. The vetoes are there to send Angela out 3-1. So Makensy, Cam, Kimo, or Chelsie winning. Those are better outcomes for the group because they can still get Angela out. There's a 66.67% chance of them being able to keep Angela on the block. Sorry, guys. I was a mathlete. I love my numbers. So less optimal outcome is if Angela wins, takes herself down. Makensy might put up Leah, but she's hoping not to be put in this situation, but it would be better than the worst case scenario. So Angela winning and taking herself down, 16.67% chance of happening. And Angela's no slouch in comps, but there is hope. So the absolute worst case for Makensy and the other house guest is Leah wins, takes Angela down, and then Makensy will be well and truly screwed. This is really the worst case scenario for her. And again, it's got a 16.7% chance of happening. But the odds of Leah or Angela winning and forcing Makensy into something she doesn't want to do is 33 1/3. Not too shabby. It's a risk worth worrying about. If Makensy is forced to do a renom because Leah wins and takes Angela off the block, the boss move is to put up Chelsie. Best player in the game, but Makensy has that whole 3-way thing with her, Chelsie, and Cam. So I absolutely think Makensy will put up Rubina if the worst case scenario ruins her plans and she can't go after Angela or Leah. The best hope is that it's a physical comp because then Angela would be at a serious disadvantage. Honestly, Kimo would be too, but Makensy and Cam stand a solid chance if it's physical. Chelsie is no slouch, but Makensy and Cam, comp beast. Leah is no slouch at physical stuff, but I don't know how hard she'd be playing because she doesn't seem concerned about going up as a renom. And it would be better for her with the house if she didn't save Angela, but she wanted to get her to jury and she's done that. So we'll see how it goes. There's been some talk, people wondering if it's going to be the BB Comics. I don't know. That would definitely be one that I don't think Angela or Kimo would stand a snowball's chance of winning. So check back later to find out who won the veto comp and where they go from here. And please subscribe if you're not already following us.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.